Dear friends, class of 2018, this weekend was my 25th high school reunion. 25 years since I concluded a life-changing high school experience that expanded my mind and opened my heart. Some of you have heard me say that I've dedicated my career to high school education, at least in part, to vicariously relive my experience. So, my dear students, to the degree that I never actually left high school the first time, we're graduating together today. In just a few minutes, we will leave behind 333 Forest Street and many aspects of our Gann experience. Yet we'll take with us all we've learned, what we've accomplished, what we've failed to accomplish, memories we've made, and the relationships we've built. With Gann in our hearts and minds, we'll step out into the world and begin the next stage of our journeys. One of the things that's unique about Gann's beautiful campus is that you not only walk through the front doors, you walk under the archway in front of our school, an edifice that we've walked through hundreds, maybe thousands of times over the course of our Gann experience. I don't know about you, but I rarely pause to notice that archway, let alone to contemplate its meaning and significance. So today, I want to unpack the symbolic power of our archway and explore its meaning for our school, our mission, and our lives. For those of you who might not be familiar with it or might not have noticed the archway before, I brought this incredibly thoughtful gift that I received last week from the school. It is a replica of the archway, way in, way out, that I will take with me wherever I go. So let me start with the plain meaning, the pshat, which I derive from the biblical quote on the archway that you see when you enter the school, from Proverbs 1, verses 2 and 3. Ladat chochma umusar, lahavin imrei bina, lakachat musar haskel, tzedek umishpat umei sharim. To know wisdom and instruction, to understand insightful discussion, to receive instruction in reasoning, justice, judgment, and fair play. This choice of text tells you a lot about the education that our founders hoped would happen inside these walls. Lada'at chokhmah, lahavin bina. What does it mean to know? And what's the relationship between knowledge and wisdom? Why so many different terms for what we might broadly just call learning? The very distinction between terms like knowing, wisdom, and understanding illustrates that learning is multi-layered and complex. Knowledge means more than memorizing facts and figures so you can regurgitate them. To know something, in the words of Pirkei Avot, is to turn it and turn it until you've wrapped your head around it and you own it. This kind of knowledge means that questions are more important than answers, and the best answers always invite more questions. In pursuit of wisdom, knowledge is necessary but not sufficient. We want our learning to go further and deeper. Bina, insight or understanding, comes when we seek the meaning behind the knowledge. How and why do I know this? What is its meaning and purpose? How does it connect to the rest of what I think I know? To grow in wisdom, we also need to better understand ourselves as learners. Through reflection and self-examination, everything, including our very ways of knowing, becomes a text to be unpacked. Only then do we gain deeper insight into the knowledge we've acquired and into ourselves. And as instructed by the proverb, we don't stop there. The intellectual life alone is never the ultimate aim of education. As the Talmud teaches, we value learning for learning's sake, but ultimately we strive for learning that leads to action. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding must translate into good judgment, fair play, justice, and righteousness. Graduates, you've lived this out. Every time you've challenged yourselves and your teachers asking, why do we need to know this? What are the implications for ourselves and our world? Alongside AP classes and varsity sports, you have volunteered and given back. You've studied midot, character traits, and you've learned that your character is formed through bechira points, choice points, large and small. You've worked to improve your judgment. You've pursued justice and righteousness. You understand that even more important than the knowledge and skills you've gained over these past 4 years is how you will use them to make our world a better place. The proverb on our archway teaches us that great education seamlessly integrates knowledge and wisdom, learning and action. It is a message to all who enter this place. And that's just on the way in. So let's go one step deeper. The archway itself is a powerful metaphor. It's a crossroads, a marker of both entry and exit, a liminal space between our school and the world, between in here and out there. This too tells us something about our vision of education, which is beautifully conveyed by the quote that you only see on your way out from Proverbs 1:20. Chachmot bachutz tarona, barechovot titain kola. Let wisdom sing out in the streets and raise its voice in the public square. Our Jewish educational mission neither begins nor ends inside the four walls of a school building. Our students are formed and informed by their families, their communities, and the society in which they grow up. Our students, in turn, will help form, inform, and perhaps transform all of them. Their learning, growth, and development are in service to the future of our Jewish community, American society, and the world of which they are a part and for which they are responsible. Graduates, you are part of an interconnected whole which you have the power to influence, God willing, for the good. I know you're ready to engage with the world because I've watched you do so over these past 4 years, in and out of the classroom, with guest speakers, on exploration weeks and Israel experiences, through clubs, civic activism, and more. For many of us, myself included, leaving high school brings with it sadness and loss. But the truth is, we knew from the time our journey began that walking in and walking out are both part of the journey. Beginning and ending, coming and going, doing the work in here so we can make a contribution out there. All are essential to a great education and a full life. So when we walk through the archway today, let's think of ourselves not as leaving Gann behind, but rather as completing the circle and fulfilling our educational mission. As the archway teaches, the power of your Gann education will continue through the impact you have on the world and what you do with the rest of your lives. But let me take this metaphor just one level deeper. In his commentary on the opening of the Torah portion, Shoftim, where we're commanded to put guardians, Shoftim and Shotrim, at the gates of our cities, the Hasidic master known as the Sfat Emet comments on the word gates with just two extraordinary words, Sha'arei de Liba, gates of the heart. In classic mystical fashion, the Sfat Emet teaches us that the Torah is not describing a physical gate in a geographic place. Instead, the gate, and I would say the archway, is a metaphor for the openings of the heart, which the Torah teaches need attention and care. Shoftim v'shotrim. We need to keep watch and pay attention to the gates of our hearts, because they are the crossroads between what's out there and what's in here. What does this tell us about a Gann education? When we walk through that archway, it's as if to say, you're not just entering a school, you are embarking on an inward journey, an exploration of self. This school is built on the conviction that great education goes even further than the integration of head and hand. Education is avodat halev, the work of the heart. Whether we like it or not, what goes on for us in here will affect the people and the world around us through how we act, work, learn, live, and how we lead. Listen to how powerfully Parker Palmer conveys this. He writes, "A leader is a person who has an unusual degree of power to project on other people his or her shadow, his or her light, who must take special responsibility for what's going on inside him or herself, lest the act of leadership create more harm than good." Graduates, I know you understand this because I've seen you create spaces that are hospitable to the heart, where you have explored, been, and become your authentic selves. You've done this through your writing, your sharing, your singing. You've created these spaces on Shabbatonim, around the campfire, in morning minyan. You've had the courage to be vulnerable and to share who you are with one another. I know this kind of learning doesn't happen for all of us, and certainly not all the time. Sometimes it comes with heartbreak, with disappointment and frustration, with the world, with each other, with our teachers, our parents, our school, even ourselves. But even those experiences and the resiliency you gain from them are essential to the journey of learning and growth. Your teachers, by the way, our extraordinary faculty and staff, understand this and strive to live it out. They see you as people, and they bring their full selves to work every day. They know that to grow as professionals, you have to be growing as a person, and they do so in community with one another and with you. Imagine faculty and staff studying Musar, the Jewish ethical and spiritual tradition, making themselves vulnerable and going on this journey of human development together with you. This is why they are the finest teachers, mentors, colleagues, and friends that any of us could ask for. My dear students, you are about to go out into a world that is in desperate need of your heads, your hands, and your hearts. For the heart is also the birthplace of the activism and civic engagement that have been so central to your legacy at Gann. In the words of contemporary author Terry Tempest Williams, the human heart is the first home of democracy. It is where we embrace our questions. Can we be equitable? Can we be generous? Can we listen with our whole beings, not just our minds, and offer our attention rather than our opinions? And do we have enough resolve in our hearts to act courageously, relentlessly, without ever giving up, trusting our fellow citizens to join with us in our determined pursuit of a living democracy? Over these past 4 years, you have embraced questions and exhibited resolve. Think of Heifers for Israel, Conservative Club, Femininjas. Think of your walkouts and your counter-protests. Think of your Ma'avar plays, your memoirs, your student voices. At some point during these past 4 years, each of you has wrestled with questions of the heart, listened and offered your attention, acted courageously, joined with others in some determined pursuit. Share de Liba, watching and nurturing the gates of the heart. This is what it will take from all of us to heal our democracy and our world and to build a brighter future. This is the message of our archway and of our school. I want to thank you, class of 2018, along with all of my students and colleagues, our parents, this incredible Gann community. For me, these past 12 years have been incredibly meaningful avodat halev, work of the heart. Leading this school has been a significant part of my personal, spiritual, Jewish, and human journey. Gann is leaving a profound mark on my heart, as I hope it is yours. Graduates, I bless you with the courage and the humility to stay on your paths of learning and growth and to keep doing the sacred work of heart leadership. And what a blessing it is for me that I get to walk through that archway for my last time together with all of you. I love you. We'll miss you. Mazal tov.